The Adventures of Neptune, in color, by Charles Lewis III. Characters: Pedro Saturo, aka Neptune; Amber Saturo, aka Queen Salacia; Trent Saturo, Benita Saturo; Melissa Gordon, aka High Priestess; and Ensemble 1 and Ensemble 2. The lights rise on a rather cheap-looking underwater set. The rocks are clearly papier-mâché, and the vines and moss are all plastic. And the bubbles are probably just being blown by someone unseen off stage. It's what you'd see if The Little Mermaid were performed at a school where the arts budget has been slashed repeatedly. As the scene opens, several people are running around the stage in panic. You can tell they're natives to this underwater environment because their costumes are just as cheap as the set. This is Atlantis, and these are the Atlanteans. Did I mention they were in panic?
All is lost!
Our kingdom shall be destroyed!
The beast hungers still!
Its bloodlust can't be sated!
Oh, what fools we were to think it could be tamed!
Our hubris will be our undoing!
May the gods take mercy on us!
The gods have damned us all!
A monstrous roar is heard from off stage. The Atlanteans cower and scream in terror.
Look there!
Our beloved queen, soon to be devoured by the gaping maw of that indescribable terror, that she should meet her and gnashed by the teeth of the unstoppable Charybdis, most fearsome beast of the wine-dark sea. Oh, I can't bear to watch!
Watch you must! Look there!
Is that the surface dweller?
And he wields the great trident of Atlantis! Is there yet hope?
There is none, you fools! Even with the great trident, Charybdis will soon devour him, our queen, and all of Atlantis. Woe unto us! Woe unto us!
There's another monstrous roar, but this time the beast is groaning in pain.
But look again!
The surface dweller!
He thrusts the trident deep into the heart of Charybdis!
The beast has fallen! My declaration of our extinction has proven slightly premature!
The Atlanteans suddenly stop, step back, and kneel to the ground. They're making way for the couple who have just appeared on stage. The ruggedly handsome Latin man is the aforementioned surface dweller. Although he's covered in slime and scales of his slain foe, it takes nothing away from the rippling muscles peeking out from under his torn shirt. Clenching his head, Atlantis, also covered in slime and scales. In his arms lies the unconscious body of Queen Salacia, monarch of Atlantis. Even if her dress hadn't been torn, it was clearly made to show as much skin as possible on network television. The surface dweller sets her down as she regains consciousness.
You're safe now, Your Majesty.
You saved my life, service man. You saved all of Atlantis. I am forever in your debt.
There's no need to thank me. I only did what was right. I hope that I may finally say I've earned the trust of you and your Atlanteans.
That and more, surface man. Legend foretells of a man from afar who would slay our greatest foe before taking his place on the Atlantean thrones. I believe he has come at last.
Calm yourself, woman. Where I come from on the surface, we are not dependent upon omens or prophecies. We do not place our faith in that which we cannot see or touch. No, as a man of science, I knew that even though the most fearsome beasts had a weakness to be exploited, fortunately, I stabbed it enough times to find that weakness.
Oh, do stay with us, surface man. Stay and become my royal consort. Share with us this science that allowed you to slay Charybdis. You said yourself the above world has nothing more to offer you.
Indeed, I fled from the land when its people turned on me. I was once a great scientist, but envy of my colleagues, combined with my own foolish pride, led to my fall from grace. Now I am no one to them. Now I have nothing, not even my good name.
Then I shall give you a new name, a proud name. Stay as my consort, and you shall be Neptune, ruler of the sea.
Our hunky Latin hero ponders this for a moment. He looks over the Atlanteans, the kingdom, the gorgeous woman at his side. Finally, he clutches her to his chest and proudly declares,
So be it! From this day forth, I am Neptune of the wide dark sea.
All hail Lord Neptune and Queen
Queen Celestia, rulers of Atlantis!
They all freeze as the lights dim and some cheesy theme music plays. Production credits are projected as the stage transitions. The Atlantis set gives way to a modern-day office. The place is adorned with memorabilia relating to the adventures of Neptune, the show we just saw acted out. There are posters, cardboard standees, and numerous action figures. Seated at his desk in the center is Trent Saturo. He has a personal assistant hovering over him as he speaks into his business phone.
Yes, they just finished airing the pilot, as I understand. I'm sorry I wasn't able to see it, but I did want to pass up on an interview with a magazine as cool as yours. Yes, I have seen the episodes quite a few times over the year. Still, I never tire of them. I don't think anyone does. At this point, I think it's fair to say it's less a TV show and more of a cultural institution.
As Trent continues, his sister Benita enters, pushing a baby in a stroller. They briefly acknowledge one another as she sits on the leather sofa across from his desk.
Sorry? Oh, James Cameron. Well, yes, we've been in contact with many high-profile directors about possibly rebooting the film series, but it's far too early to announce anything. Well, yes, we all love Mark Ruffalo. Oh, now, I can't give away everything. Let's just say, though, that our appearance at Comic-Con will be one for the books. Well, if I told you that, it would ruin the surprise. Yes, it's been great chatting with you, too. We always keep copies of Empire magazine fully stocked around here. I can't wait to read it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Oh, God, my face hurts from fake smiling. Why did I do that over the phone?
You need a face massage. We can pencil you in for one before the columnist from Kotaku calls.
Oh, no. I can do interviews in my sleep. In fact, if I did fall asleep, no one would notice. Now, why am I talking to a video game website?
Well, they're planning a perspective of all the games in the franchise, from the Atari games to the PS3 release. You're the son of the creator, and at an age where you could have possibly played all the games.
Is it entirely necessary?
Kotaku is a part of Gawker, and they always give great coverage to the franchise and Comic-Con.
Oh, just haven't talked to, what's his name, who works with EA now.
He'll take all the credit.
I'm sure he will.
A second PA runs in, going over a tablet.
These came in during your interview. A rep from Lightstorm says Cameron is willing to waive his usual director's fee if we can guarantee him final cut.
He's sweating. Let him sweat. What else?
We got a call from Bad Robot saying J.J. Abrams is interested.
Jesus, how many franchises does he want to reboot? He needs to go to rehab for reboot addiction. What else?
The Mary Sue would like time for an interview.
I don't know what that is.
It's a fandom website from a feminist perspective. They're doing a series on the costume does not equal consent campaign, and they'd like a comment from someone from the franchise. Comic-Con is coming up, and the series is renowned for costumes that...
Not to say that your father's designs were bad.
Certainly not bad, just that they tended to...
Focus on tits?
To put it delicately, yes. Both male and female cosplayers love the franchise, but the female cosplayers are subject to routine harassment. This column would be like a comment on the motivation for creating costumes so revealing.
We've been answering that question for decades now. This is what I hate about the internet. It's proof that there are stupid questions because everyone's allowed to ask them. Tell me this, did anyone from a legit news source contact us today?
Just one.
And that would be...
Vanity Fair.
Oh, really? Oh, well, why didn't you guys start off with that one? Well, they want to do one of those big Annie Leibovitz shoots with all the surviving former cast members?
Just one former cast member, actually.
They'd like a comment on that issue for which we've been saying no comment.
Trent is clearly rattled by this, but tries to hide it from Benita. It does no good as she can clearly tell something's wrong.
We will not comment on the matter because there's no matter to speak of. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Good. Because you know what Neptune would say, this isn't,
this isn't a disaster.
It's just a distraction.
Great! Now, tell Cambridge people we'll consider it. Tell Abrams people thanks for letting us know. Every niche website should be directed to whatever department is not my office. And make sure the social media sites are pushing the marathon. God knows Sci-Fi has got nothing better to run when they're not showing Sharknado sequels. If you want that, go.
The PA is hurriedly scrambled out the door. Benita is holding the baby in her arms.
Well, that didn't sound the least bit foreboding.
How have you been in my office for 10 minutes without giving me a hug yet? Get over here.
With the baby still in her arms, Benita moves over to hug Trent.
Should I even ask?
If anyone should be asking questions, it's me. Where did you get the baby?
We talked about this, remember? Many times. My book tour going through South America. I told you that when I came back through Guadalajara, I'd be completing the long adoption process I was going through. This is your new nephew, Ernesto. Ernesto es de su tío Trent. They call him tío Trent.
They just let you take babies from Mexico. Are they like free soaps in the hotels?
Es precioso, no? You really want to make him laugh? Play him your album.
Oh, that hurts. You have 2 grown daughters. Why would you want another? I just answered my own question, didn't I?
You know, some of us actually mean it when we say we want to have a positive impact in the world.
And your way is clearly going full Angelina Jolie.
This is just one baby that's hardly the start of some Benetton trial. 2, Josephine Baker did the Rainbow Family thing 50 years before Angelina Jolie, and 3, who cares?
Hey, if you get another screaming baby in your house, then don't let me stop you.
Hey, you're the heir apparent. When you finally make your own kids, don't let me stop you.
Thanks, but I'm happy splitting the family fortune with you.
Which you don't.
Because you refuse to take it.
Even if I did, neither of us is going to be around forever. Who's going to watch the throne when you're gone?
Can I ask you something and you'll tell me the God's honest truth?
Absolutely.
Trent pulls a tablet from his desk to take notes.
Why would you say the show's groundbreaking?
Seriously?
Something other than the usual who got their start stuff. What's something that doesn't get mentioned a lot?
Mom and Dad were one of the first interracial couples on American television.
No one wants to hear about that.
They did it when the country still had segregation laws. What's more groundbreaking than that?
I'm not saying it wasn't, I'm saying no one wants to hear about it.
When's the last time you saw a movie or TV show with an interracial couple and that wasn't their defining trait? It's not like in the 90s when it started to become normal, like Nat Whitney Houston Cinderella movie. No, today everyone loses their shit over over Cheerios commercials. You should mention it because it's still important.
Trent puts away the tablet.
You know what, we'll come back to that.
Fine. So, what's the disaster?
It's nothing.
I'm sure. How big a disaster?
It's not big at all, that's why it's nothing.
Trent.
Do you remember Melissa Gordon?
Oh. The priestess.
How does everyone remember her? She was only on for 1 season.
Farrah Fawcett was only on 1 season of Charlie's Angels.
Farrah Fawcett was the star. Melissa Gordon is nobody.
So what about this nobody?
She wrote a book.
Really?
Yeah.
What does it say?
I don't know. The publisher won't let us near the manuscript.
Okay, so what do you think it says?
Hey, why don't I come over to your place tonight? I haven't seen Ed in forever. I can spend time with the baby. And we can all watch a movie or something.
Benita stares at him. She wants to say something, but knows the conversation would just go around in circles.
Fine.
She puts the baby back in the stroller and collects her things to leave.
Hey, Love Actually. Post-90s film with an interracial couple, but that's not their defining trait.
You know we're gonna watch that movie film, right?
Oh, please, God, no.
Oh, we're gonna do it.
Oh, Philip, you never make me sit through that again.
Oh, we are gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it.
She exits.
This is not a disaster. It's just a distraction.
The lights go down on Trent and his office disappears. A single spotlight illuminates center stage. Into this light walks the priestess whom we saw earlier, dressed in her regular clothes. This is Melissa Gordon. She speaks directly to the audience.
The seaweed bikini, from being the object of wet dreams to nearly drowning on dry land. A memoir by Melissa Gordon.
A title card is projected behind her. It reads, Chapter 3, Channel Surfer.
If I were the type to believe in fate or destiny, I'd know the exact day I found mine. I was already planning to drop my major when I saw Pedro Saturo and his wife Amber on the talk show Bottom Line. I knew of Pedro's show, but wasn't what you'd call a fan. He was arguing with the Bottom Line host, who was comparing Cesar Chavez to Jimmy Hoffa. Pedro got really angry and slammed his hand on the desk. When he calmed down, he told the story of his friend, Bruce Lee. Bruce had trouble finding work after the Green Hornet, so Pedro offered him a role on Neptune. Bruce declined, saying he was thinking of going to China, that he had a family to support, and that sometimes going where there's work is more important than following a dream. Pedro said that he was fortunate because he came to America to follow his dream and made work for himself. He said he slept soundly at night because his fame and fortune were all due to following his muse. By the end of the week, I was on a bus to LA.
The title card changes to Chapter 4, making a splash. The set has transformed back into Atlantis. Two costumers are helping Melissa in her very revealing priestess dress as she continues to address the audience.
I spent hours backstage going over my lines. I had already done a few weeks as an extra, but now I had lines. Lines that affected the plot. When I finally got into my costume, I just kept pacing over and over like a crazy person.
The costumers exit. Melissa begins pacing. As she does, she doesn't notice Amber Saturo walking behind her, already dressed as Queen Salcia.
To appease the gods, you must be sacrificed. To appease the gods, you must be sacrificed. To appease the gods,
Doesn't quite roll off the tongue, does it? Oh, the lines.
Oh, well,
It's okay. We're not exactly reading Beckett here.
I've never done Beckett.
Ever done Shakespeare?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't Shakespeare. This is shit. It's popular shit, but it's still shit. And we all have to swallow it. Oh, I'm sorry, hon. Was that a bit much? Everyone tells me I swear like a sailor. And I have to tell them, I grew up in New England, where there are a lot of fucking sailors. Listen, you have nothing to worry about. Everyone here has been where you are, and every one of them is watching out for you, okay?
Okay.
Anything else you need?
Actually, I wanted to ask about this dress.
It's handy, isn't it?
Yeah, is there any particular way I should move so that, everything doesn't fall out?
Just don't breathe deep. Or lean forward. You should be fine.
The actors all move into place as Neptune is bound in restraints, with several Atlantean guards standing around him, swords drawn. Salcia stands aside, scowling with disapproval and heartbreak, as the priestess tries to console.
Please, your majesty, you must listen to reason.
We've listened to your silver-tongued lies long enough, surface man. The plague that infects our people began soon after your arrival in our kingdom. It can only mean that your presence angers the gods.
Allow me to dispatch him, your majesty. I would have him drawn and quartered by 5 blue whales before his remains are placed on pikes outside the city gates. The worms and crabs will pick his bones clean, leaving his empty husks to serve as a warning for those who defy Atlantis. Pay for it in blood!
I appreciate your enthusiasm, warrior. But we are just not cruel.
Please, majesty, the plague infected your people came not from me, but the yellow plants you consume. If you would but allow me to complete my...
Silence! You shall burden our queen no more! Your death shall serve as a reminder as to what happens when we turn away from our ancient ways. To appease the gods, you must be sacrificed!
There is a look of absolute terror on Melissa's face. The kind of look you have when you fart in an elevator and everyone knows it was you.
Indeed, priestess, and sacrificed he will be. Guards, prepare him for the execution. Archers!
The guards drag Neptune to the far side of the stage before they exit.
You're making a grave mistake, your majesty!
The archers appear on the other side of the stage. They are actually the same guys who were playing the guards, but you're not supposed to know that because of cheap television.
Archers ready? Aim and...
A young Atlantean boy runs onto the stage, blocking Neptune's body with his own.
How dare you interrupt an execution ceremony? We should kill you next. Archers, aim for the boy!
Please, your majesty! I bring urgent news! What the service dweller says is true. It's the yellow plants that are to blame for the plague.
Then my experiment...
Proven true! Of the 4 dolphins, you selected 3 whom you fed the leaves all developed the illness. The one who did not still thrives. Your experiment was a success in the sense that a family of dolphins is now dead.
Just as I predicted!
Gods preserve us! Free him at once!
But, your majesty...
At once, I say!
The warrior reluctantly cuts Neptune free. Salcia runs to his side.
Forgive me, my love. How could I have ever doubted you?
You do not need my forgiveness, but you must learn to trust my methods, for we have a rule in science. Once is incidental, twice coincidental, but thrice, then a pattern has emerged. It was that pattern that led me to discover what killed 300 Atlanteans.
If only we'd known that after the first 100 died.
But you know now! We must burn the leaves and remove it from every Atlantean home. We cannot replace the lives lost to this demon plant, but we can be sure it never harms anyone again.
Neptune clutches Salacia to his chest as the lights go down and the credits roll. The only one left on stage is Melissa.
Suckerfest. I was the state spelling bee champion. I was on the debate team in high school, and I can recite sonnets by heart, but for my first full line on national television, I screwed it up by saying sacrifice. I was convinced I was about to be fired, so I stayed in the dressing room as long as possible.
May I come in?
Oh, Mr. Saturo, I'm sorry. Yes, please come in.
I wanted to catch you before you left. You seemed a bit shaken up by the scene today.
I'm so sorry about that. I never meant for the lines to come out that way.
It's perfectly fine, Senorita. This isn't live television. We were going to shoot another take before you left, but not to fear. We have a process we call looping. It's where we re-record the dialogue in the studio, then the people at home have no idea mistakes happened. After all, it was still a very good take.
Thank you, Mr. Saturo.
Pedro, please. Miss...
Gordon. Melissa Gordon.
Where are you from, Melissa Gordon?
Rochester, New York.
And what brings you out west?
Well, I wasn't satisfied with how college was going, so on a whim, I hopped on a Greyhound cross country to see if I could honestly make a living as an actress. My parents weren't exactly thrilled.
Any brothers and sisters?
2 sisters, Stella and Evie.
I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers, which I'm told is small for a Catholic family.
I was raised Catholic.
But I'll bet your father never kept you and your siblings locked away in a room, did he?
No.
Pardon me. I speak of my family so rarely, I forget that when I do, people hear it and they think, ay, que tragedia.
Que lástima.
Hablas español?
Poquito. I'm better with German and French.
Really? Say something in French. Whatever comes to mind.
Melissa thinks for a moment, then blushes.
By the look on your face, it better be something good.
Melissa composes herself, then begins reciting Mon rêve familier by Paul Verlaine.
Je fais souvent ce rêve, étrange et pénétrant, d'une femme inconnue, et que j'aime, et qui m'aime, et qui n'est chaque fois ni tout à fait le même, ni tout à fait le vôtre, et même, et me comprend.
Lovely.
I was just thinking, you mentioned being raised Catholic. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a nun.
Really?
I honestly did. I wanted to feed orphans, collect for charity, live in piety, the whole thing.
What a difference that would have made.
I don't think I would have gone around reciting that poem.
Lucky me.
So much tension, you guys.
I hope to see you again. I'd hate to recast the princess at this point of the schedule.
Oh, right, yes, the priestess. Yes, I'll be here bright and early tomorrow morning.
Wonderful. Adios.
I remember saying out loud, don't read too much into it. I told myself that when dinners with he and his wife became dinners with just the 2 of us. I told myself that when the priestess went from a single line to becoming an important character. I stopped telling myself that after the first night he stayed at my apartment.
The lights go down on Melissa and come up on Trent, seated on the far side of the stage. He's wearing a stylish suit with a lavalier mic on his lapel. He's practicing his game face when the phone rings. The opposite side of the stage lights up to reveal Benita on her hand.
Hey, listen, can we make this quick? I'm going on the air in about 2 minutes.
What's this shit about Mark Ruffalo?
What have you got against Mark Ruffalo?
Nothing at all. I love Mark Ruffalo. My phone's wallpaper is Mark Ruffalo. My dream is for my husband to agree to a 3-way with Mark Ruffalo. But that's not what what's this I hear about him playing Neptune?
He's just a possibility. Would you prefer Michael Fassbender?
You don't see the problem in casting a white guy as our father.
Neptune isn't our father. It's the role he played. And name me a single Latin actor who could do it as well.
Oscar Isaac, Miguel Peña, Edgar Ramirez, Gael Garcia Bernal, hell, Benicio del Toro if you want to go older.
Did you really call to complain about a casting process that hasn't even begun yet?
No, I didn't. I want to talk about Melissa Gordon.
There is no talking about Melissa Gordon because she has nothing important to say.
That's just the thing. She actually might. I've been asking around about her manuscript, and it might not be something you just want to ignore.
So I've heard. Listen, I don't feel the need to think seriously about it until someone I know actually reads it.
Well, about
I'm
that-
sorry, we're about to go live. I gotta go. Love you, bye.
Wait, Trent! Shit.
Benita exits as the center stage lights come up. The host of the cable TV news show sitting at his desk.
Nearly 50 years after it first aired, The Adventures of Neptune is as popular as ever. The original low-budget TV series has spawned a lucrative franchise of films, video games, and literature, and has inspired countless writers, artists, and fans all over the world. On the eve of his upcoming appearance at the San Diego Comic-Con, we have a chance to speak with the son of the show's creator, joining us live via satellite from Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Trident Entertainment President Trent Saturo. Hello, Trent.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, almost 50 years. That's quite an accomplishment. What do you attribute to the series' lasting success?
Yeah, I chalk it up to the fact that it was a cutting-edge show that still promoted old-fashioned values. Things like honor, fidelity, and standing up for your fellow man. You don't see that a lot these days.
What was it like growing up and seeing your parents play heroes on TV?
You know, before my mother passed away, grown men would regularly approach her with tears in their eyes, saying that my parents were the sort of parents they wished they had. They gave the world an image of the perfect family that everyone could strive for.
And yet, your father was not one to shy away from controversy. In addition to his strong political beliefs, there have been also many stories about how he treated his cast and crew. Many former employees have come forward
Okay,
saying...
you know what, I'm going to stop you right there. First of all, many of these stories have been exaggerated by one author whose name I won't even mention. Secondly, most were said when my father was either in failing health or already dead, therefore unable to defend himself. And finally, if these people are still holding grudges after nearly half a century, well, I pity them.
Yes, well, you might not want to say the author's name, but we have him here with us as well, joining us via satellite from Manhattan. Many of you know him by his pen name of Ovid. Please welcome to the show, author Paul Nasso.
The opposite end of the stage lights up to reveal the smug face of Paul Ovid Nasso. Ovid is an asshole. After just one look, you want to smash his face with a shovel. Trent's face isn't as confident as it was before.
Great to be here.
Ovid, your books about the adventures of Neptune have proven more controversial than your other works. In fact, an oral history of the original series was regarded as petty and mean-spirited.
Truthful, there were lots of folks who wanted to talk about the show but couldn't. I just said, talk to me, and they came running. I'm not at fault for what they said.
But you included your own commentary about Pedro Saturo's personal and political leanings.
So listen, as far as the whole race thing goes, I'll give it up for the guy. But he wasn't some countercultural hero. Look, I caught an old episode the other day about how Atlantis' society is collapsing because of some demon weed. I mean, come on. It's not hard to read between the lines there.
And why is it that you never seem to mention my father's good deeds? Like when 911 was introduced, he fought hard for Spanish operators. How he supported young artists like Freddie Prinze Sr. and Miguel Pinheiro. How he co-funded films like La Bamba and Y Tu Mama Tambien. You never mention any of that, and you try to paint this picture of my father as some evil man. But the people aren't buying it. They know how to smell a liar.
Hey, I don't like being called a liar.
And I don't understand the term demon weed.
Yeah? How about the word rape?
Yes, Mr. Nasso's second book, alleging Pedro Saturo's engaging in several extramarital affairs, fathered illegitimate children, and committed numerous sexual assaults.
And I didn't even tell all the good stories. I had to leave some out for the sake of time. There was one about this tranny guy.
Excuse me, Mr. Nasso. I believe the appropriate term is transgender.
Gotcha. So this tranny guy, he tells me this story about when he was still a she and worked on the show and was raped by Pedro Saturo. But instead of quitting or going to the cops, she just made Pedro pay for the sex change. That's how she became a he, and he went to Vietnam. Got decorated too.
And am I the only one who thinks this sounds like something out of the Weekly World News?
And what about Melissa Gordon? Everyone I talked to knows they had an affair. That's how her priestess character became so important all of a sudden. And at the end of the season, Melissa goes to break it off. Pedro says no and rapes her in her office, and she runs out in tears. Then her character disappears forever.
You're saying this without the slightest bit of proof.
What about all the women who report the same pattern, the same MO?
Well, what, a bunch of liars all agree on the same lie? Look, my father had his faults.
Had his faults? This isn't a stuttering problem. These are sex
But
crimes.
that shouldn't overshadow all the great work he's done for this country and the world at large. This world is a better place specifically because of what he's done. What would you say to all the people who benefited from the world he created?
What would you say to all the women he had to rape to create his perfect world?
I say you can't break an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Oh, perhaps now would be a good time.
Oh, no. I have got to hear how he intends to follow this up.
One day, Ovid, one day, no one's going to be interested in any of your stories. When that day comes, you'll be in some abandoned building or a deserted island, and you're going to die old and all alone. Meanwhile, my family will be gathered around the television watching old episodes of my father's show. That is my father's legacy. Would you take this off, please? The microphone? Would you take this off? Would you take this fucking microphone off of me?
The lights fall in half on Trent as they stay full on the host and on.
Okay. It appears we've lost the feed from LA. I'd like to thank both our guests, Mr. Trent Saturo and Mr. Paul Ovid Not So.
Oh no, thank you. I had a great time.
The lights go down on the host and Ovid as they remain at half of Trent.
This is not a disaster. Just a distraction.
The lights go down completely on Trent as the spotlight comes up on Melissa, center stage. Projected title behind her reads, Chapter 12, Sinking Fast.
In hindsight, I should have known I wasn't the only one. He was rich, powerful, handsome. Of course, he could have any girl he wanted. And he did. He acted like a god, and no one really argued with him about it. No one wanted to be on the other side of that earth-shattering temper of his. When you're a god, you don't have to answer to anyone. We shot the season finale the day before. I went into his office. I didn't talk to him at the wrap party because I didn't want to say anything with so many drinks and friends around. The crew were all used to seeing me enter his office without knocking, so I let myself in.
The stage lights up to reveal Pedro's office, but he isn't there. Instead, Amber is there, standing at the window, looking out on the city.
Oh, Amber. Sorry, I was looking for Pedro. Close the door. Oh, right. I'll come back when he gets in.
He'll be in San Diego all day. Step inside. Close the door.
Melissa reluctantly complies. Amber turns to face her from behind Pedro's desk.
Should I sit down?
I always liked you. I could tell you grew up privileged, but you still had a good head on your shoulders. Not like the other girls. You never flaunted it in front of me, and I respected you for that. I turn a blind eye to his activities, so long as his family is his first priority. But there is one thing I will not tolerate. One rule he knows not to break. Never in our house.
Oh my God, Amber,
Amber raises her hand to silence Melissa.
Pedro's absence, I'm fully authorized to make decisions on his behalf. As such, it's my duty to inform you that your association with this production company is terminated effective immediately. You have 10 minutes to vacate the lot. Any slanders, remarks on your part will be met by immediate litigation. And I wouldn't expect much in the way of residuals when your episodes are being aired. But what?
expecting? A severance package? This isn't AT&T. You leave with nothing of ours. You are done on this show. You are done in this town. And you are done in this business. Is that clear enough for you?
A crying Melissa moves back to the center stage spotlight as the lights go down in Pedro's office.
I ran out crying. It seemed like I cried for days and weeks afterward. When I finally stopped crying, I let out a little laugh. She said I wasn't leaving with anything of theirs. In the back of my mind, I always wondered if either of them knew I was pregnant.
The spotlight goes down on Melissa. One side of the stage is lit up to reveal Benita sitting on the sofa watching television. Baby Ernesto is asleep beside her. On the coffee table in front of her is a manuscript with a large bookmark looking out of it. The other side of the stage lights up to reveal a rather sullen-looking Trent. He dials a number into his phone, Benita's phone rings. She looks at the caller ID, but is reluctant to answer. It's as if she's asking herself, do I really want to have this conversation now with the baby sleeping next to me? Because I'm damn sure it won't end well.
Hola.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
what are you doing right now?
Just Netflixing on a Saturday night next to a sleeping baby like we do. You know, I actually did play your album and it made him smile. You should play your horn next time we come over.
Yeah, I'll try to remember that.
Great. So I saw you on TV yesterday. For the record, that guy's a dick.
But you don't think he's a liar, do you?
Growing up, I never believed it when people said Dad liked to screw around. I thought they were all just jealous. Then right before I left NYU, I decided to look up this woman in Beverly I'd heard about. She had kids. They looked just like us. Trent. God, I can't even remember her name now. but-
Clea.
What?
The woman in Beverly is named Clea. Dad bought her that house. Put those kids through school.
What the fuck? You know about her?
I know about all of them. I have to so that I'm prepared. When someone breaks the story, I have to have a counter story.
I cannot believe this.
Benita, please, I need your help. Yesterday's interview was on a Friday, but for the first time, I don't know what happens on Monday. Sci-Fi halted the marathon, and there's rumblings that Comic-Con might cancel the event. What I need right now is a show of support from family. Now, if we just...
No.
What?
It's spelled the same in English and Spanish. N-O. I have spent my whole life running from that man's shadow, and I'll be damned if I run back now. I love you, Trent. From the bottom of my heart, I do, but you know just as well as I do that this is wrong. You can't change history, and you can't keep supporting his lies.
He didn't lie. He created a myth. The world needed someone like him, so he filled the order. A self-made man, a perfect father, a non-threatening man of color. He became all those things, and he made the world a better place for him. That's what's wrong with the world today. No one wants to just accept the myth. They spend all their time hooked into technology and deconstructing myths because it makes them feel smarter when they aren't. Who cares if George Washington never chopped down that tree? Who cares if a hippie like John Lennon always beat his wife? Who cares if there's no such thing as Santa Claus? It's a myth. We need the myth. When you destroy the myth, you destroy everything that ever came out of it.
And Manito, I studied mythology with some of the greatest scholars in the world, so I know all the tropes. One thing I can tell you for sure is the most devastating defeats happened to people who thought they were invincible. Dad thought he was invincible. Don't make that same mistake, Trent. Please don't. Because in the story, you're not the hero.
She hangs up the phone and the lights go down on Trent. She turns to baby Ernesto and gently pats him on the head. Her phone rings again.
Hello? Larry, hi. Yeah, I have the manuscript right in front of me. I owe you big for this. Yeah, well, it's never easy reading shit about your own family. But I had to read it for myself. Okay, so I'm near the end, and I can bring it to lunch tomorrow. You'll have it back at the office before start of business Monday. Got it. Okay, thanks again. Bye.
She hangs up the phone and picks up the manuscript. There's no artwork, but the audience should be able to see that it's Melissa Gordon's memoir. Benita opens it to where her bookmark left off as the lights go down on her. Simultaneously, they rise on Melissa in the center stage spotlight. The projected title behind her reads, Chapter 21, Resurfacing.
I imagine it would be difficult raising one child who resembled someone who broke your heart. I had two, my twins, Chris and Paul. They were 16 when I told them about their real father. I figured if they were old enough to drive, they were old enough to know where they came from. I've always wondered what would happen if they ever met Trent and Benita. I mean, laughter, tears, violence. I just know that my boys are smart and strong, and I think they're ready for anything. I don't hate Amber. I was angry with her for the longest time, but I never hated her. I think back to the first time I saw them on television, and something occurs to me. He needed her there. He couldn't get by without her by his side. She was his rock. I was just sand. Something fun to play with for a little while, but not something you want to bring home. I never hated Amber because I always admired the fact that she was stronger than he was. I haven't seen the show in years, and I don't think I've ever seen the movies. Recently, I've been struck with a morbid curiosity to watch them all. I wonder if it's easy to tell which lines I've loved. I wonder if I can tell which plastic set pieces were about to fall apart. Most of all, I wonder if I can detach myself from the knowledge of what happened behind the scenes and just observe the episode. Can I watch the show the way all the fans watch the show? Because when you get right down to it, it really is a beautiful thing.
Melissa steps out of the spotlight. When the lights come back up, the set resembles Atlantis, but it's a lot more fancy than we remember. In fact, it looks expensive. It looks like the kind of set you'd see in an 80s fantasy film, like Legend or Crawl. This is the set of the film, The Adventures of Neptune 2, Cerberus Can Swim. As the scene opens, Salicina sits on her throne as a remorseful Neptune kneels at her feet.
Forgive me, Your Majesty. My attempts to vanquish the demon hound appear to have put Atlantis into even greater danger.
We've faced many tribulations, you and I, but none such as this. And that you would use the royal jewels of your failed device? They are sacred heirlooms.
I can only ask your forgiveness again, my queen. I was prepared to suffer great harm if my device failed, perhaps even the loss of my own life. But I never imagined the price I paid would be the loss of your love. That price is too much to bear.
Is that what you believe? That I lost all love for you?
Have you not?
Foolish men. Do you remember when I first chose you as my royal consort? My heart was already promised to you. Yet still you courted me as would a young man. You sang for me, brought me flowers, and read verses from the poets of your world. Even now I remember my favorite. Doubt thou the stars are fire. Doubt that the sun doth move. Doubt truth to be a liar. But never doubt I love.
My lady, you put me to shame.
Rise, my love, and know that I have faith that we will overcome this threat.
My beloved Salicina, with your love and faith to support me, I could defeat 10 such maladies with the greatest of ease.
Then fight on, my love. Return to your laboratory, continue your research, and discover a way to avert this disaster.
Discover it I shall, and rest assured, my beloved queen, this is no disaster. This is merely a distraction.
And cut!
That's a cut.
Sound cutting.
Check the gate!
Checking the gate.
Makeup and wardrobe stand by for adjustments.
Gate is clean.
Copy that. Gate is clean. Stand down. Makeup and wardrobe.
That's scene 42 Apple on The Adventures of Neptune Part 2. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap.